Recently, the devil sent a man to kill me. And I'm going to get into that, but first I want to list a bunch of ways that the devil has tried to kill me starting from the day I was born. It was a triple try. First of all, I was born breech. I was lined up feet first. Number 2, the cord was wrapped around my neck. And number 3, I had some kind of a condition with a highly elevated white blood cell count. And this alone could have killed me. So those were the 3 efforts of the devil to kill me on the day I was born. Unfortunately for him, God had other plans. And 2 experts from San Francisco. At the time I was born, this blood condition I had, most children died of it. But there were 2 experts in this condition from San Francisco, 2 doctors, had left to go to a convention in Los Angeles. And on the way there, for some reason, they just decided, why don't we pull off into this town and look and see what kind of facilities they have. So they pulled in and they looked into the cribs with the newborn babies. They said, hey, this child here, he has a very serious problem, and we know exactly what you need to do. So they put ultraviolet lights on me, they put cotton swabs over my eyes, taped those down, and I had to sit under that light for a few days, but it saved my life. And they may have done some other things, I don't know, but because you know what? In preparation for this video, I called my mother to get more details, and as she was explaining everything to me, the internet service here in my region cut out, so that I couldn't finish the call. I had to wait 18 hours to get, and I haven't been able to get her since then, so I'm making the video now. So that was the first way the devil tried to kill me. By the time I was 13 years old, I'd broken 15 bones. Just normal activities, things kids do. Something heavy fell on me, or I fell out of a tree. I fell out of a tree once. I heard, plain as day, the branch I was breaking on just break, and I just went straight into free fall. I didn't fall forward or backwards. I didn't jump off. I just went straight into a free fall. My uncles went out and inspected the tree later. They said every branch on that tree is fully intact. I went out myself later and looked, and there were no broken branches on that tree. Somehow, by a supernatural darkness, that branch just disappeared from below my feet, and I went down. Right, broke 2 bones in my arm. This is the devil. He's out to kill. As Torben of the last Reformation recently said, the devil, when you stand up, he's going to try to kill you. And in many cases, he knows who we are long before we do. And he goes out and tries to terminate people. And you may think, because maybe you've heard this teaching that says, hey, how do you know you haven't accomplished God's mission for you? Well, because you're still alive. The implication being that if you just, stay in the vine, brother, just stay in the vine, that if you just do that, if you just keep marching along, somehow, without any ingenious or any true effort on your part, and without any kind of resistance, you're just going to accomplish God's will in your life. Well, I'll tell you, the Holy Spirit has told me that when it's time for you to do something, He's going to make it abundantly clear to you. He's going to open every door, and He's going to provide every resource. But you still have to step out first. You still have to make that commitment and go. And He's also showed me, I made a video some time back, God is calling women into the harvest field. And He's also calling people who were in the harvest and left back to the harvest field. And I saw these huge battalions of people lined up like in military formations, but dressed as civilians, flags, banners, everything, cover and file. And then He showed me how many were going to come out. And suddenly it was a very bare field. And you know what? And normally in the military, if somebody falls out or they're absent, you fill in. In this, there were no filling in. Everybody stood in their exact place, the exact position to what they're called. So if you're called to something and you're not doing it, no one's taking your place. That place is vacant. Because the other people, they're called to something too. And there's a need. There's a shortage. The workers are few. So, again, the devil, he wants to kill as many as he can. Because that, to him, he believes that work will remain undone. That there will be more suffering in the world. And Jesus, He wants us to go out and heal. That's the Great Commission. Not simply to preach the gospel of salvation, however greatly important that is, but also to cast out devils. And cast out depression. And cast out schizophrenia. All these things can be cast out. To raise the dead, to heal the sick, to cleanse the lepers. We're called to do all of those things. And we are empowered. We are enabled. We are given authority over those things. Not just the neck of the serpent and the head of the evil, but also every work of the enemy. I was in the Marines. I went rock climbing. And I'm not going to get into all the details. It's a long story. But I almost died 3 times. And as I was walking away from this unexpected, unintentional 12 hours of free solo climbing, I realized, you know what? I cheated the devil 3 times today. And I just started laughing. It was ignorant of me to do that. And after I was done laughing, I thought, Why did I think that the devil tried to kill me 3 times today? Because I wasn't the Christian then that I am now. When I was in the Marines, I did not know God and the ways of the enemy as I did. I was going to learn painfully because of poor associations and a lack of association. I didn't know about Derek Prince or Win Worley or any kind of a thing, and I didn't understand the Bible the way I needed to understand it because I hadn't gotten into it and I hadn't associated myself. I hadn't met people who believed in the power of God, who preached more than just the gospel of salvation, but also the gospel of the kingdom, the power of God to destroy the works of the enemy. And I needed to be set free, but I didn't know about it. More recently, not too long ago, the Holy Spirit told me, he said, you're going to preach this message. And boy, I didn't want to preach that message, but he told me, he said, leaders in Ukraine are going to die. And I posted that video. I said, leaders in Ukraine are going to die. And when I said that, I really thought it meant politicians in Kiev, because there's a lot of corruption here in Kiev. And he said, and the Holy Spirit showed me that it's going to happen in more than just the next year, a little more than a year. And over the next 14 months, every last leader of the battalions in eastern Ukraine, occupied by the Russian terrorists, I had preached that message and it went up online. I'll tell you, when you mess with these spirits, they don't like it. One day I went, there was a place I frequented. It was called a Reprisa, and it was on Bogdana Khmelnytskого Avenue, and I'd arrived at Metro Universitet, and I got out of the metro station, and I stood on the sidewalk, and I was about to go under the Metrograd. In Ukraine, you don't normally cross the street on top. Usually you go under the road. I stood there, and before I went down below, I just froze. And I'm telling you, this is an interesting thing, because I didn't feel like, well, I can't go. There wasn't a message saying, hold on, son. There was nothing like this. I just stopped moving. I just stood there, and I didn't have any compilation to go forward. It wasn't like I was trying to move my legs and they wouldn't. In my heart, I wanted to go. I wanted to go to this cafe that I frequented. It was adjacent to this McDonald's, this place that I like. So I'd normally cross the crosswalk, walk a few more steps, I'd be inside Reprisa. Well, on this particular day, I just got held in place there, and I just didn't go. So I started praying, Lord, is there something wrong? He didn't answer. I said, should I go somewhere else to study? He said, yes. So I walked down the hill and I went somewhere else. 5 minutes after I made that decision, a car with a journalist in it was blown up. This particular journalist was very outspoken against corruption, and somebody blew up his car. More recently, I was praying in August of last year, and the Holy Spirit said, you need to move out of this region. And I said, okay, when do I need to move? And he said, you need to move before the end of the third week of September. And I said, okay, well, where do I need to go? So then I was kind of dragging my feet about where I was going to go, and I couldn't get a lot of agreement with my wife. So I had excuses, right? I had reasons. I didn't move. So the time came, so somewhere toward the end of September, so past the deadline, standing in my kitchen, I had this vision. Let me tell you the quality of this vision, because it's from the devil. It was like a weak vision. It was like you could see through. It was very much like looking through a pane of glass, like a plate glass window, and not looking into what's outside the window and seeing that clearly, but looking at what's reflected back at you through the window. That's the quality of this vision. It was really much like that. And in this vision, this is what I saw. There's a serial killer operating right now in your region. If you will go out in the night, you can find this guy, and you will engage him, and you will wrestle with him, and as you're wrestling with him, a policeman will show up and shoot the man dead. And I looked at that and I said, oh, no, I'm not putting my life on the line. I'm not doing that. No. So I stayed in. My wife said, hey, did you know that there is a serial killer working in your region? This guy stabbed 4 people. He attacked them. He would run up from behind, stab them in the spine, and then when they went down, he would stab them about the face, neck, eyes, right, with a knife, trying to kill them. One guy he did kill, the other 3 he just seriously injured. So eventually they captured him. But I'm telling you, the devil wanted that guy to kill me. He wanted that guy to start killing people in the region where I lived, hoping that he would get me just by odds. And he also wanted me to go out and try to tangle with that guy, try to look for him. Bizarrely, and this is an important note, not long after that is when there was an attack on London Bridge or near London Bridge. And that man also had a knife. And a local policeman did grapple with that guy, and police did show up and did shoot that violent offender. So, bizarrely, what I saw later took place, and there might be some kind of a spiritual principle there, and I think there might be. I don't want to get into it because I don't know everything about it, but I've seen things like that before, where some kinds of words were spoken and then they landed somewhere else. Someone throws a curse and the target, prays and breaks that, and then it happens to the person. Not too long ago, a woman told my wife, well, I know how to, curse your mom to die. Within a year, that girl, her mom died. My wife's mom is still living. She's still laughing and dancing and praising God every day. The devil, he will try to kill you. He doesn't play fair. You need to go out, and when you go out to evangelize for God, and I pray you will be strengthened, that you'll put your trust in God. And when he tells you, hey, now's your time to do this, everything's going to go well, don't worry about the resistance you encounter, but work hard, and that's how you get success. And even if it's a little job, do your best and trust in God for everything, because once you accomplish that little thing, then God will know that you're trustworthy and he will trust you with greater works. So this is the man from Modesto reminding you as always to pray or be defeated.